Hi, good morning. Welcome to Body Confidence with Alicia Plosz, Mrs. Curvy Globe 2019. I am really excited that you're here with me on your Wednesday. So Body Confidence, where we learn to embrace thy beautiful selves, whatever that looks like. So what does that look like to you? Body confidence for me is something that we do every day, and that we take a little bit of our time every morning, every evening, and every time we have time to reevaluate who we are, what we want, and why we love ourselves. And so body confidence is not something that we automatically have. It is self-confidence, self-love, and a little bit of just being okay to be okay. And today's going to be a good day. And today is going to be a good day. Today I have a beautiful, fantastic guest, one of my favorite Globette people. So in Mrs. Globe, we say Globette. That is somebody who was a Mrs. Globe and forever will be part of the Mrs. Globe family. So Theresa is one of the very first people that I ever met in Mrs. Globe. So she is part of my Mrs. Globe family and one of my very first people that I got to walk along the stage with. And I really am excited to share her with you. So today, on Wednesday, it's the middle of the week. It is weird times right now. So I'm not sure what's going on where you are, what time of day it is. For me, it's morning, it's 10 a.m. I am in Canada. It's cold, it's snowing, and it's feeling a little bit like Christmas. We are in December, we're getting ready for Christmas. It's a different time right now. So Christmas season, we are always a little bit more reflective, I feel, and feeling the need to connect. So looking for a sense of community, a sense of gathering, a sense of love and support. And so feel free to share and comment and connect. This is interactive. So you can for sure comment and ask questions for myself and or Theresa. And I really appreciate that you are here with us today and are on our chat. So if you have anything that you want to share on body confidence, self-love, or anything that you want to share with us about what we're talking about, feel free to throw a comment or some love our way. We would appreciate that so much. So right now, like I said, it is Christmas. There's a lot going on. It's different for me, like in Canada, maybe where you are, your restrictions because of COVID are different in your place. We have just upped our restrictions. So Christmas is going to look a lot different this year, and our sense of connection and community is going to be different. I feel like we're going to be doing a lot more virtually, perhaps, a lot tinier, a lot more intimate in our gatherings. And also, I think the reflecting, and the more taking it in and internalizing who we are and what we want in as a whole, especially going into the new year, new you. People like to set goals, and this is a time where we reflect on the year past and project for our year future. And so this year is a great time to write out your affirmations. Hi from Seattle. Hi, Tasha. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Curvey, New Jersey. Heidi. So I like to reflect on what I want at this time of year. So this would be a great time if you don't already do your affirmations. If you don't already have your affirmations, personal affirmations, things that you start your day with that make you feel stronger, confident, and bold, then you can go forward. Today I have lash extensions on, Tasha. I do wear the Tory Bell lash extensions, the magnetic ones, but today I have my lash extensions because we have not shut down yet. So I went and got them done, but as they start to dwindle and fall off, then I will definitely be wearing my magnetic lashes. Thank you for asking though. My favorite ones from the Tory Bell are the selfie ones because I like a little bit more drama in my lashes every day. So also, when you are affirming, what is it that you want to affirm? I like to personally, when I am, hi Jay Scott, I like to affirm the things that I am feeling a little bit lacking in my confidence. So that's where you need to build yourself up and be a little bit more stronger and a little bit more thicker in your foundation, if that makes sense to you. So when I'm feeling a little bit, hello, Mrs. Curvy Globe, Mrs. Curvy US of A Globe 2020. That's a brand new title for you, exciting. So the things when you're feeling the most insecure about, that's where you need to affirm the most. So if you're feeling down on your intellect today, then you say, I am brilliant, I am smart, and I am capable. And if you're feeling like less confident in your looks, I am beautiful, I am gorgeous, I'm stunning. That's where you're going to really amp up your affirmations and affirm to yourself and to everybody else that you are enough, because life is hard enough. You are your biggest cheerleader, the biggest supporter, and you're going to be with you the longest. So you need to affirm to yourself every day how amazing you are. So I'm going to bring... So excited that you guys are all chatty on here with me today. We'll see how this works. I think you're coming along with me, Theresa. There you are. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can. Can you hear and see me?
I can. I'm just going to back up.
So excited.
Cutting my head up. Okay.
Instagram, are you listening? Alicia here, and she's listening. She's a beautiful sight, so happy and bright. We're sitting here today to make you smile.
You're so cute. I love that. Oh, that's awesome. I love that you're like when I was like growing up, you know, you always watch like the movies that have like the characters that always sing or the welcoming songs. You're like our welcoming song today. It's very welcoming.
That
I like
it. I couldn't disappoint you in this. It just says happy. So
it does say happy, and it's perfectly on point for the season. So thank you. I appreciate that. That was great. So how was your day? How are you doing?
Good. I am sequestered from my canine rescue dogs. We do that here. We rescue German Shepherds.
Okay,
We have the ones that no one else, they're problems. To us, they're just fur children. And we make them better and send them to their forever home when they're ready.
Okay, perfect.
But they're outside the door wanting to know why they're separated from me right now. So they can't
a lot of times I'll hear sniffing and little feet. I'll look and I'll see little paws under my door. I have 3 dogs, and usually they'll be waiting for me when I leave here as well. It's cute. Yeah, they love us. It's great. So Theresa, you were last month Mrs. US of A Curvey 2019, and now you are the inaugural, very first ever Mrs. Curvey Choice of the People 2020. How does that feel?
It was amazing. It was the first ever crowning moment for me on stage, and there's a lot of crowning actually going on that night, which was fabulous, especially for the Curveys, our first inaugural Mrs. Curvey Classique, Lisa Tellerigo.
Yeah.
And being crowned Mrs. Curvey Choice of the People, the inaugural, I get to go to Shenzhen, China. So I've always had a passion to travel, a passion for languages. I was an opera major, studied opera, foreign languages. None of them were China. But I've always wanted to go. I lived in Japan for a year. I've always immersed myself in the language and the culture wherever I go. So for me, I've always wanted to go. I want to see the Terracotta Army, the Great Wall, be able to speak enough Mandarin to be able to get around and make them smile wherever I go. And if I get a chance to sing there, I'm going to do it.
Right. I feel like you will find a way to make that happen. Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Share your gifts. I love it. So you are not new to the Mrs. Globe stage. You're an alumni in Mrs. Globe. You have been on this. It's been over 16 years since the very first time you stepped foot on the Mrs. Globe stage, though. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So you were on the
never thought I would do. Ever was a pageant.
No, right? Because you started off. So you said that you always. I like this. So you always do different things to challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone every year, something new. And I think that's and always have, which I think is amazing and actually very, as we know, we grow. And so you're always learning and always growing yourself as a person and intellectually and like in stimulation and different travel and experiences. And that's amazing. And so you said you were a tomboy and used to go fishing and not so much girly.
I didn't know how to be girly. I didn't know how to do the girl things. I looked at the girl. I'm like, how do they do that? They do the hair and the makeup, and I can like get the fishing pole and go to it was always catch and release, by the way. I never could keep them. But I love nature. I love the woods. I love the beach. I understood nature. So how to do all that, I didn't know how. And when I attempted that, it was like not a good outcome.
Well, and then you
So
also, you've done the stage and theater. So walking on stage and doing makeup wasn't completely foreign to you, just in a different way. You're not playing a
yes,
character. You weren't playing a role. You were just being you on stage. So that's a different
I've been a
viewpoint.
lot of little old ladies on stage. I have. But that was actually, I got character roles, which for me was fabulous because I got to be funny and shoot a gun off and make people laugh. And I found a confidence on stage that that has never left me. When I walk on stage, that's my house. And I'm one with that house. You collaborate in real time with an audience. It's a really powerful thing that takes place. There's physical reactions that happen in the audience. Actually, when we're performing in truth, you can actually feel it when you get a lump in your throat when you hear someone sing. That's an actual physical thing that occurs. So that happens. We feel that from the audience. You'll often hear people say, "Oh, we've got a great audience tonight," and it makes us feel great, and the audience feels great, and they leave changed, and that's our goal. They change us, we change them. And so I just kind of figured, well, I can do that on stage. I could possibly do a pageant. I lived by Atlantic City. I went with my grandmother to the Miss America pageant, and I loved the talent. It was a fabulous memory with her. And I didn't know much about Mrs. Pageants, excuse me. And I had seen, I guess, an ad for Mrs. Globe somewhere, and I sent away for information, and I got it. And I go, well, I'm going to apply. I had just auditioned for it. It was either Star Search or America's Got Talent, something like that. I'm like, okay. And then I got a phone call from Spiro Kimball one day, and what I didn't know was an interview back and can you hold please? I got Tracy, I got Spiro, I got Tracy, I got Spiro. And I'm like, oh, just chatting. He goes, okay, well, we would like to have you as our Mrs. West Coast. We feel that God has brought you to us.
Perfect. That's amazing. And back then, so you were a size 6 the first time, and you were Mrs. West Coast. And then you competed again a second time, and then you were, what was the title the second time?
I was Mrs. California.
And that was how many years in between?
1 year. The next year I came as Mrs. California.
Okay, so Mrs. California. And then, but you had changed again, so like you made a different mindset and a goal, right?
Yeah, I actually wanted to see what my body could do for me. When I was growing up, sports weren't really so much encouraged as it was other subjects. I was in the history club. I was that person. So I discovered Pilates. I'm not super tall. So for my physique, my body type, I needed to find something for me that worked for my body that I didn't hate. And I noticed that I did change some things in my diet that for me that I found agreed with me better. And I noticed that in a short period of time that it actually worked. I'm like, wow, that actually changed. My posture felt better. Pilates was actually developed as rehabilitation. So I had a spinal deformity that I grew up with. So it actually helped improve that a little bit. So there was other benefits rather than just, looking better for stage. I felt better on the inside for me, and I felt more powerful. And this was all for me. I wanted to see what I could do. It was never in comparison to, I want to look like that person. I always say compare and despair. And I wanted to see what I could do and surprise myself. And I did. And it was weird. After having 2 kids, I ended up that year with like 6-pack abs on stage, which was, I didn't think my body could do that.
And you got down to like a size 2'4", which is different.
For my height, for my height, I'm 5'4", is not, in the realm of like being unhealthy. It's competition weight, which people have to understand is different from how you walk around
every day. Yeah, walking around every day. So you trained and competed to be on stage, bringing your best self is what you did, and you were working towards that. So then, now fast forward 14 years later, you came back now as the Mrs. Curvey title. So for the people that don't know, the Mrs. Curvey title starts at a size 12. So we chatted on this in a conversation we had the other day, and you had an inner dialogue with yourself and your confidence on coming back on stage. Because like we had talked about, you were a size 6 the first time, and then you had got down, we'll call it your fighting weight, to a size 2 to compete the second time. And then now, years later, you were coming back as a size 12. And so for you, it was a different mental mind game. Can you give me a little bit more of your backstory on why Why you were having a hard
Yeah,
time?
that was, um, well, I was proud of obviously what I had accomplished as Mrs. California, and was proud of my pictures and what I had done. I'm like, wow, I did that.
Hmm.
And in between that time and when I returned, I actually contracted Lyme disease, and they didn't know I had it. It went undiagnosed, and I ended up with psoriatic arthritis from that. But the medicines that they gave to treat it, I gained about 50 pounds in about 4 months out of nowhere. I mean, wasn't changing what I was doing, but it just was like made itself. It was going to stay. And I
Hmm.
had a lot of, I was ashamed about that because people look at you with like, what happened to you? And I'm
Right.
like, it's too long of a story to give most people who give you that just, you know,
Elevator pitch
small
on it.
glance. Like, exactly. They're
Yeah.
surprised. And when I saw that they had started Curvey, and I got a reach out from one of our alumni from TIA, and at first I was like, what does that mean exactly?
Okay.
Because I wanted so desperately to go back and see my Globet sisterhood, because we really do have a very strong sisterhood.
It's beautiful.
And going through it started out as Right Living, and then through Reclaiming Me classes. A lot of us have been through some very tough life experiences, and but we go on and we take those tests and we make them into a testimony and a ministry.
Hmm.
And so we do have a beautiful outreach, and we understand each other. So I was ashamed to come back. I felt shame. I go, I'm going to get the looks. People are going to look at me and go, what happened to her? What did she do? Did she just not care? They don't know my backstory. But I actually, and thinking of shame is not about being guilty for what you've done. It's feeling bad about yourself. But what I found out, the antidote to shame is actually empathy. And what happened is my empathy to want to be with my sisters and what they'd gone through and reconnect with them became so strong that going, you know what? People are going to look at me, and some people are going to get it and some people are going to not get it.
Hmm.
But I knew that I had to be there. I actually had
That's
a
not
soul
lacking you.
moment that
Right.
I had to be there.
Yeah.
And it was beyond like going, you know what? People are going to like me. They're not going to like me. They're going to stand. They're not going to understand. It didn't matter. I knew that I had to go because I was more than my body. I had more to give than just how I showed up on stage.
Yeah.
I needed to be there to support the group because we're a very powerful group together. And I'm so glad that I did that. Me showing up last year was a complete victory for me, just to show up and be seen, because
Yeah.
I did not want to be seen. And that's, and one of
Lots
the
of
things,
times the journey
the
isn't
journey.
excuse me, the journey isn't the stage, it's right here. Lots of times the people understand it's not the crown you're chasing, it's chipping away that concrete self-doubt is the victory for a lot of women. Especially you don't know what they went through to get there. And when you hear, that's why I feel like the Globet Sisterhood is so strong, is when you hear the stories the women went through to get there, to be empowered enough to walk across that stage, I'm just like, cry. I'm like, I feel all the feels. Like it's so enriching and beautiful how strong these women are. Like you are so strong and you're very inspiring. And I loved that you shared that with me because I felt it's important that you came back, not for yourself. You felt that you went beyond yourself. Yes, you came back because you needed the journey. You needed to prove to yourself that you could and to overcome your own fear of not being enough, right? And
And
so
to
you just
me,
needed to get out there and do it.
I did. I had to, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that, since I was alumni, I was very involved with the alumni, and it was the last time I had been there was in 2005. We didn't have Classique. We didn't have, it was just Mrs. US and Mrs. Globe. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of the first, let's say, old timers, as we call us, to come back as alumni in a different category, and actually in a size now that had a 1 in front of it. I went
Mm-hmm.
from a size 4 to I was a size 14 at least, and from
Right.
my size that bigger, but I really knew that, and I know that there are other alumni that are out there that miss our sisterhood so desperately and want to come back, but are probably thinking like, or feeling like I did, like I can't show up different
Mm-hmm.
or older looking or whatever. They won't love me the same. And I can tell you, that's not the truth. I did not get
Mm-hmm.
one look of shame when I showed up there, not one. And believe me, I was scanning on, is it this person's going to give it to me. Who's going to give it to me? And no one did.
No.
No one. I was greeted with hugs and love.
That's our own block, our own insecurity that we're putting in place. That's our limitations that we're putting on other people, and that's not fair. It's true. I know. I feel the same. I have felt the same thing. I found that we put limits on ourselves because of how we fear other people are going to see us, and that's so limiting, and so it steals our power, right? And we need to just, it does, it steals your power, and it also steals your gift, because when you walk across stage, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who wants to follow in your footsteps. And if you're not leaving the footsteps, how are they going to follow you? And I think it's so brave and so proud that I love that you did and that you came back, because anybody who was on stage or has seen you over the last 16 years and know who you were then, I didn't know you then, I know you now, I love you now, but they are going to be like, well, she did it, why can't I? And I think it's very inspiring, and I love that so much. I love that when you're sourcing your gowns and you're, we were talking about this, and you were sourcing your gowns and your wardrobe for your pageant, you always research the brand behind it before you go there. So there's a shop that you shop at a lot, and you always try and find a full figure branding that, let's say they're like the champion for the size inclusive, not just like have a section. They're the champion for the size inclusion. So you wore a Jonathan Cain dress on stage, but you researched him first, looked at all his pictures, made sure that he had more than one plus size dress, and make you right. And then the shop that you shop at, you make sure, like, I love that you actually look and support people that are going to support the cause you want. And I feel like that's really powerful. Very powerful. Can you share a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, Miss Priss in Kentucky, I've worked with them for a long time. And when I became a curve, I asked them, I said, well, how do you feel about that? And they said, well, we really feel really strongly in having every woman feel beautiful in what she wears. In fact, Elizabeth, the owner, had just been to the Apparel Mart in Atlanta, and she specifically sought out designers who they didn't just carry extended sizes, like, oh, okay, asterisk, we carry up to whatever. She wanted the person, and as did I, that actually was leaning forward and willing to embrace the woman who is not a size 2 or size 4. The sample size is a size 6. And that was Jonathan Cain. And so in looking at his background, he actually grew up, overweight as a child, which I did. So I'm like, he gets it. He gets that, that a lot of people can't just walk into a store and find something that fits them and feel fabulous and leave. So he actually is emotionally attached to wanting that person to feel just as beautiful as everyone else. And at Miss Priss, they had girls coming for prom dresses that would say, I guess I just won't eat until prom. And they said, we can't have that.
Oh, that hurts my heart. That hurts my heart so much to hear that.
And this is the war we went against, the unreal social media, unreal images that they compare themselves to. I say compare and despair. So they said, we can't have that. So we want every girl that comes in. I said, well, I want people who actually just aren't willing to tolerate someone who's, a curve, that really gets excited about dressing them. It really is leaning forward and embracing them. And she goes, that's myself, Elizabeth, the owner, and the manager. And they actually called me a couple weeks after that, and they said, would you like to have a Zoom call with Jonathan Cain? I said, yes, I really would. And we spent about 40 minutes together, and he did a sketch for me of a gown. I have a nickname in Mrs. Globe, and it's Fairy Godmother, and a lot of people of you know.
I haven't left gowns. I wore it on stage in China. Yeah, you were definitely the hookup. Like, I'm just gonna scroll back a little bit. Coretta said, Theresa for the pantyhose hookup, right? You are the one who right? Yeah, it's true. You're in the know, and you're very informed. I think that's very powerful that you do source that out, and that you are passionate. You're passionate about what you believe in, and I love that so much. So I really appreciate so much that you did come back, and that you are here to inspire us and lead by example. You're not just telling us, you're showing us, and that's beautiful and very powerful. So if you could leave us with one. Pardon me?
Yeah.
Your calling.
It's actually my calling.
I love it.
My calling.
And I think Choice of the People is a beautiful title for you, because you are the choice of the people. Because you're such a when I posted that I was interviewing you today, someone would go, "Oh, I love her. Oh, she's amazing. Oh, I'm so excited to watch that." It's true, because you are amazing and we all love you, and it's great. And I feel like you're a very good representation of the brand, and I love it so much. And I'm excited to have you here, and I'm excited to see what you do with your title this year. Big things, I know.
I'm excited. I have vendors that are willing to step forward. As I said, I started with Jonathan Kane, working with Stephanie Summers right now. Hi, Stephanie.
I love
that are willing to step forward because they're like, yes, I want these women. They are more representative of what real women look like. I want to dress real women who are so gifted that want to come forward and change the world. And I'm happy to lead that charge. You're right. You said leaders lead by their feet, where they walk, where they go. So we got to get up and go and show people how it's done. I wanted to come back to show other alumni that they could come back.
Right.
And I actually had someone tell me they came back because they saw I had come back. And that for me was, I guess you would say, rose clipped is overcome with just so humble.
You know you're walking the right path when it makes you feel like that. It's true. So, Theresa, you could leave us with one body confidence, self-love tidbit. What would you leave us with?
Be at peace with yourself. Be at peace with yourself. There's so much we can take in from the outside world that can try to disturb that peace. And you need to take a moment, shut the world off, and just say, for right now, as you say, I'm enough. Be at peace with yourself. You live in your body. It's the only house you're going to have for your soul. Be at peace with yourself and walk in that. And that peace becomes powerful. And from that peace comes confidence. You're like, I'm at peace with myself. I know who I am. I'm going to step forward in that peace because my peace is personal and it's unshakable. And you'd be surprised what you can do. Like, I'm at peace with myself and it's unshakable, and you can't take that from me. Nothing or no one rob you of your peace. So be at peace with yourself.
I love it.
You were made to be amazing, and you are. So share it with the world. I agree with you 100%. But thank you very much. I appreciate you. So I'm just going to tell everyone that you're beautiful, brilliant, and brave. You can go and do anything that you choose to do. Thank you, Theresa, for being on today. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your Wednesday. You can catch me on Friday. I'm going to be chitty-chatting with Andrea on her Transitions with Grace episode. And next week on Body Confidence here on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, to your success, and happy Wednesday. Thank you, Theresa. Enjoy your day.